bison. Extremely deadly and powerful animal. Always keep your distance. Always. Okay? They tend to be relatively aggressive, right? They go in herds. It's better to go in herds to avoid detection of predators, so to speak. But their young ones, unfortunately, are usually left out, which is why the young ones have to stick inside the herd to make sure that they're not picked out by, say, a mountain lion or wolves, or maybe even us, Native Americans, or us. Okay. 이건 에이셔 같은데? 근데 문 닫았어. 왜냐면 coming soon 같은. 아, 와. 이거는 뭐 캄보디아 같은 쪽이 아니면 그 라오스 같은 저쪽의 나라 같은데. 여기서 에이셔 두고 있습니다. 한국은 있겠지? 그는 모르겠어. 잘 모르겠구만. 호랑이 있네. 호랑이. 안녕. 호랑이 있고. 좋아. 심바 날라봐야지. 응? 네, 무파사. Lion. We're gonna have to go see the lions. How can I miss them? 저쪽에 있네. Thank God they didn't run away because I said the lions. 야, 여기는 다 있네, 여기. 여기서 다 있다. 여기서. 잘. So you'll see the one with antlers, that's a male, and the one without antlers is the female. Now sometimes they might have removed the antlers on a male for various reasons, but it could be due to infection, it could be due to depending on the aggressiveness, the nature of the animal. 태그했네. 그리고 귀에서 태그 붙였네. 바이슨은 저쪽이 있어. 저쪽이 잘 못하는데. 근데 뭐 있어 저쪽이. Those are the ones you really want to worry about. The elks are one thing, but bison's a complete different story. All right. You know, again, they run in packs for a reason. They run in herds, and although they're not going to attack you right away, if they are cornered, or if one of them is left behind, then they will attack you, okay? But if they're in a herd, they'll run with the pack until an obstacle blocks their way. A little bit of what you should know about your daily animals. Grizzly bear, right? They're not as aggressive, and they're definitely aggressive, but they're not as strong, so to speak, as a polar bear, although they are almost at that same level. They will fight a polar bear if they have to. But at the same time though, polar bears are bigger. They're bigger, they're stronger, and they tend to be more aggressive, so to speak, just slightly more aggressive. So, I don't know, 저쪽에 있네. In the center of your screen, you'll see them moving around, rearranging their home. 깨끗한 꿈이네 여기. 나온다. 나온다. 일어난다 좀. 근데 so imagine if you were behind this glass. Imagine you saw this grizzly bear right there, right? It would mean no fun for you. You would basically be target, right? Now you can play dead, but then you wake back up and you're still inside the enclosure. The bear's gonna see you and go like, oh, you're not dead. So you fooled me once. Shame on you. Okay. And again, with grizzly bears, they have a lot of fat stored in, yes, but they hide a lot of muscle underneath that. So if they're fighting you, they're putting on all that muscle out. That muscle power all comes out, all right? And it's going to hit you like a freight truck. So imagine just how powerful these animals really are, all right? If they come for you, they will. And they're not, listen, they're not afraid they're not afraid of you, okay? They're certainly not afraid of me, all right? They're not, even though I am a polar bear, nonetheless, still, they're not afraid of you. Red wolf. 여기. 저기 있다. 도망간다. 어디가 친구? 아이고. 친구야, 어디 가? 그냥 도망간대? 나 여기 있는데? 이 자식이 어딜, 그냥 나 도망간대? 어쨌든. Red wolf. He's longing to go out into the wilderness once again. It's sad. But fun facts about red wolves. Again, they're not as aggressive. You're not going to be as aggressive as seeing as a grizzly bear, right? You're not going to see them as aggressive. But however, the problem with red wolves is that they are highly endangered. Okay, there's only a certain number of them here in North America, in the U.S. and in Canada, perhaps even in Mexico. But they have the Mexican wolf, but nonetheless, these guys are, they tend to be relatively docile. 근데 문제는 they're not, when you see them, they're not going to attack you right away. They're not going to see you as a high level of threat. They're not going to say like, oh, what are you? They're going to be curious, yes. The only downside is that, because you're bigger than them, they're gonna be at like the stance where they're gonna go like, oh, okay, hold on, we gotta a human, because you're bigger than them. I'm certainly bigger, but especially being a polar bear. But they don't go on. Usually red wolves, they like to keep to themselves more or less. The gray wolves and the Eurasian, Siberian wolves, they like to go in packs. But red wolves, they kind of like to keep more than to themselves. Granted, it would be nice if they had a partner, but nonetheless, though, they like to be by themselves a little bit more or less. 나 내려간다. 친구야, 어디 가? 도망가. Okay. So cool. They're really cool canines. Pretty laid back, so to speak. Again, when you come across them, you're not gonna have to worry too much. They're more or less scared of you than you are of them. Okay, just think of it like that. 지금 여기서, so I'm just gonna speak English. So it's kind of dead out here, and it's winter. It's cold. 지금 추워. 겨울이야. So you're not really gonna see a lot of animals, so to speak. Back in the summertime, spring and summer, they're gonna have more animals out, but not right now, right? 지금 just back there was an elderly man was jogging down here. He was wearing shorts, but I think he was wearing women's shorts. It was pink, and it had like the athletic ones. I listen, I'm not judging, okay? I'm not judging about this LGBT stuff. I'm just saying, while you're here at the zoo jogging with that, when it's clearly around 33 degrees outside Fahrenheit, it's a mystery. 어쨌든, enough of that. So, as you know, a lot of animals are endangered, okay? It's not just the polar bear, it's not just red wolves. You're gonna see a lot of animals endangered, even squirrels too, okay? Dogs, well, they're not endangered because we domesticated them. Same with cats. 근데 북극곰, polar bears absolutely endangered, right? Absolutely endangered. That's why the Norwegian government, the Russian government, they're trying to make sure that those polar bear populations are as stable as possible, right? Stable, is that the right word? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. 자, 그 갑시다.